Cats don't imprint the way people expect. There is no single moment, no dramatic turning point where a cat suddenly decides that you matter. What forms instead is a gradual alignment, a slow accumulation of safety, predictability, and emotional neutrality that a cat begins to rely on. Many people misunderstand feline attachment because it doesn't resemble loyalty in a human or canine sense. Cats don't express bonds through constant proximity or visible dependence. They express it through regulation by choosing where they rest, how they recover from stress, and who they orient toward when their environment shifts. This video isn't about claiming ownership or special status. It's about recognizing a pattern that emerges when a cat has quietly integrated you into their internal sense of safety. By the time you notice it, the imprint has already been formed. Sign 1. Your cat regulates their body around you. An imprinted cat shows physical signs of relaxation specifically in your presence. Their muscles soften. Their tail rests instead of flicking. Their breathing slows without effort. These shifts are subtle but consistent. This regulation doesn't happen because you're entertaining or engaging them. It happens because your presence has become predictable. Your movements don't surprise them. Your tone doesn't escalate suddenly. Over time, their nervous system learns that being near you requires less vigilance. Cats don't relax out of affection. They relax out of trust. When a cat consistently downshifts around you, it's not a compliment. It's a biological response built through repetition. Sign 2. They position themselves in relation to you. Imprinted cats often place themselves within visual or spatial range of one specific person. Not necessarily close and not constantly. They may sit across the room, on a nearby surface, or just inside the doorway. This behavior isn't about attention or following commands. It's about orientation. Your location helps the cat track the environment. If you move, they may adjust. If you settle, they settle more easily too. Cats don't anchor to people they don't trust. When a cat consistently chooses to exist in relation to you, it means you've become part of their environmental stability. Sign 3. They turn their back on you. In feline body language, turning one's back is not dismissal. It's exposure. A cat that turns their back is removing visual control and trusting that nothing threatening will happen behind them. Cats do not do this casually. They only offer this posture to individuals who have proven safe over time. The absence of monitoring means the cat no longer feels the need to stay alert around you. This behavior often goes unnoticed because it looks like indifference. In reality, it's one of the most unguarded forms of trust a cat can display. Sign 4. They sleep deeply near you. Sleep is the most vulnerable state a cat enters. An imprinted cat doesn't just sleep near you, they sleep fully. Their body stretches instead of staying curled. Their ears relax instead of tracking sound. Cats choose sleeping locations carefully. Temperature, height, noise, and escape routes all matter. If your presence consistently outweighs these variables, it means you've become a protective factor rather than a risk. This level of trust is cumulative. It forms only after many uneventful days where nothing bad happened while you were nearby. Sign 5. They adjust to your emotional state. Cats are sensitive to changes in posture, muscle tension, breathing, and tone. An imprinted cat doesn't just notice these shifts, they adapt to them. When you're overwhelmed, they may become quieter or withdraw slightly. When you're calm, they may approach more freely. This adjustment isn't emotional caretaking. It's nervous system alignment. Cats don't respond to stories or explanations. They respond to physiological signals. When a cat consistently mirrors or accommodates your emotional state, it means you've become relevant to their internal regulation. Sign 6. They seek you after stress or disruption. After loud noises, unfamiliar people, or sudden changes, an imprinted cat often gravitates toward one person. Not always for physical contact, sometimes just for proximity. This behavior reveals something important. You are their recovery reference. Your presence shortens the time it takes for their nervous system to stabilize again. Cats don't choose this reference point randomly. It forms through repeated experiences where your response to stress was calm, non-invasive, and predictable. Sign 7. They allow repair after mistakes. All relationships experience ruptures, accidental scares, missed cues, disruptions to routine. An imprinted cat doesn't immediately sever trust after these moments. Instead, they return sooner. They test again. They allow the relationship to repair rather than resetting to distance. This doesn't mean the cat forgets. It means the bond has enough history to absorb disruption without collapsing. What feline imprinting is and isn't. Feline imprinting is not dependency. An imprinted cat is often more independent, not less. Security allows autonomy. It's also not obedience. Cats don't imprint because someone trained them well. They imprint because someone behaved consistently enough to be predictable. The bond doesn't need reinforcement rituals. Once formed, it stabilizes quietly and holds. Why imprinting is easy to miss? Because it doesn't look dramatic. There's no constant affection, no vocal display, no visible loyalty. The relationship works in the background, regulating stress, shaping routine, and influencing emotional awareness without asking for recognition. People often notice imprinting only after loss or separation, when the stabilizing presence is suddenly gone. What changes in people? Living with an imprinted cat often alters human behavior subtly. People become more aware of tone, more respectful of space, less reactive to rejection. These shifts don't feel like lessons. They feel like maturity. Cats don't train humans intentionally, but the relationship only functions when emotional awareness grows. By the time people start wondering whether a cat has imprinted on them, the bond is usually already formed. It didn't happen in a moment of affection or through effort. It formed slowly, through repeated calm interactions, through days when nothing went wrong, and through the quiet absence of pressure. Cats don't choose loudly. They choose through regulation, by resting more deeply, recovering faster after stress, and orienting themselves around one presence more than others. These signs are easy to miss because they don't demand attention. They simply exist in the background of everyday life. What often changes most is not the cat, but the person. The pace of movement slows, reactions soften, space becomes easier to respect without feeling like rejection. Over time, the relationship stops feeling like something that needs to be managed and starts feeling like something that holds. Imprinting isn't about being special. It's about being safe, predictable, and emotionally steady enough that another nervous system can relax in your presence. That kind of trust doesn't require reinforcement or proof. Once it's there, it remains. And when the house goes quiet again, after the video ends, that bond doesn't disappear. It continues not as a concept, not as a label, but as a shared sense of calm that no longer needs explanation. Chosen quietly. If you recognized your cat in these signs, it doesn't mean you did something extraordinary. It means you were consistent. You didn't force connection. You allowed distance without interpreting it as failure. Cats don't imprint on effort. They imprint on safety. And once that bond exists, it doesn't need to be proven. It simply continues, quiet, stable, and deeply rooted. If this reflection felt familiar, you're already inside the bond you're trying to understand. There's nothing to improve and nothing to claim. If you choose to stay with this channel, we'll keep observing cats this way, without myths, without dominance, and without noise. Just quiet understanding. And the animals who allow it. Before we step away, let this idea settle without needing to be named. Cats don't announce when a bond has formed. They don't mark it with behavior meant to be noticed. It develops quietly, in moments that feel ordinary while they're happening. What matters most is not how much a cat approaches, but how little they need to stay alert when you're nearby. A relaxed body, a settled breath, a willingness to rest. These are not performances. They're biological responses to safety. If your cat shares space with you without watching you closely, if they recover from stress more easily when you're present, That connection didn't happen by accident. It formed because nothing bad followed your presence, again and again. There's no need to test it or prove it. Some bonds only exist when they're left undisturbed.